All right. And good afternoon, and welcome to the S.M.A.S.H Foundation's Career Day Expo. This is our second presentation, and today we'll be talking about job search and trade school with our presenter, Ms. Terese Thomas. Terese is a leadership development coach as well as a global project manager. She's committed to her life to living with a purpose, and she wants to help others do the same. For the past 20 years, she's practiced leadership development in all facets of her life. She began her journey. Currently, Terese works as a plant program manager for a tier 1 automotive supplier, where she leads a core team on launching Chrysler vehicles. She's also the founder of DXT Management, where she offers her leadership development coaching. She is known for her ability to motivate and inspire her team on a daily basis to push and strive towards completion. The key is to work in your unique strengths and talents. Then it will ignite your passion that aligns with your values. Those who have worked with her says it's her drive and ambition and it's contagious. You can't help but to move. Ladies and gentlemen, this morning I'd like to welcome Terese Thomas to the group. Terese, the show is yours.
Thank you for that introduction, Takara. I want to thank the ladies of S.M.A.S.H for the invite to Career Expo, the Career Expo. I count it an honor and a privilege. As Takara mentioned, I am a plant program manager, and I've been in that role and that career for over 20 years now. But Takara, I don't know if I told you, but when I look back and you asked me to do this topic, I said, hey, I didn't go the traditional route. I went through a trade school also, and I went through the trade schools / certification type of journey. So that was interesting for me to kind of like go back. So at this time, let me share what I have for you. I have a presentation for you, kind of walk through some slides that I have. Am I sharing my screen? No?
We can't see it yet, Terese.
Okay.
All righty, we see it now.
Okay. So again, Terese Thomas, the name of my management company is called DXT. Is some initials for those people, some people who are very close to me. We're gonna just really talk quickly about what your goals are. If not college, then what? Talk a little bit about certifications and associate's degrees, and the difference between the two. Trade schools and some junior colleges around the local area. We're in the Metro Detroit area. And one of my favorite topics, let's talk money motivation. A lot of times money is our motivator. And then we're going to get into job search and then creating opportunities. The first question I just want to ask, people to kind of think about is, what are your goals? And I think it depends on where you are in your life. Are you someone who has and a little older and you've been working a job and you want to switch career opportunities? Are you someone in high school just getting started, or in college, just kind of deciding where you want to go? And is passion your motivator? I will say for me, when I was trying to figure out my route, in high school, it wasn't about passion. It was about success. What will drive me to success the fastest? That's it. And then the second question, what is fun to you? And I did look at things that was fun to me, but that wasn't my main objective. I was willing to do things that were not so fun in order to drive me to success, because that was my number one. That was my number one goal right there, success. And I was like, well, maybe I have to go through some hurts and some hurdles, but in the end, I'm going to do something that will drive me to success the fastest. And do you know someone who does something that's interesting to you when you're trying to figure out, what you want to do and the career path that you want to choose, or the second career path? Because I'm touching on that 50 mark, and I think a lot of people my age are maybe like getting a little, like uncomfortable, and they're like, I want to do something that makes me happy. And so passion might not have been your goal the first time, but is it now? And you might see someone that's like, oh my God, they look so happy, like, so do you know someone that's doing something? And again, is money important to you? And if money is important to you, then you definitely want to put that in your research. If you guys have any questions, feel free to kind of stop me along the way. I think I can get back on task rather quickly. But again, your goals are very important, when you try to figure out. And I think, I don't know if my presentation was geared more towards, the students who choose not to go the traditional path of college. Okay, so if not college, then what? Do you have a family business that you're going to take over? Are you going to the military? Those are, some options also. And then again, you have to ask yourself, what do I want to do? And I just want to tell, anybody that's like putting strain on themselves, so that 18-year-old, that 17, 18-year-old that's just finishing high school, give yourself some slack. But you do have to make a decision of what you plan on doing. It's not like I'm going to take a break and when I wake up, I'm going to decide. No, you have to decide something. It doesn't have to be definite, because guess what? You can always change your mind. But we need you to narrow down some ideas. You need to brainstorm, and you need to kind of like work towards something and find out what's your plan. So here's some options. Certifications versus associate's degree. I guess when you hear the word degree, you kind of get scared. So I'm gonna start off with certifications. These are the benefits and kind of the things to think about as far as certifications. They're usually 2 years or less. 2 years or less in a designated area. Um, HVAC, heating and cooling. When you go for home inspection, you go for real estate. Those are some of the certifications that you can get that is less than 2 years. And you will get hands-on experience. That's one of the benefits of that. When I started out, I wanted to go into mechanical engineering. That was my major in college. But then I found a program at a local college that was in computer aided drafting, 3D modeling, type of thing. Um, and it's when you modeled up like car parts. I think they still have that role. And if you were to look on Indeed.com, that position would be listed as a designer. So I went to I actually went for my associates, but let me get back to the benefits of certifications. They're hands-on. They cost a little bit more because when you go through that, those schools that I'm going to name, the S.M.A.S.H Howard and the Michigan Builders, they're going to cost a little bit more than your regular college courses because they're so quick, and they kind of guarantee a faster return, right? And they have an internship afterwards. Usually they're teamed up with some companies that you can usually, get a job with after it. But the thing that you have to make sure of with these companies that offer these certifications, to make sure they are legal, make sure they're ethical, and make sure they're accredited if you want to carry on. So when you look at a 2-year degree or associate degree, and a lot of people don't know this, is that it's kind of the same as a certification, except for it will be 2 years because you take some other kind of gen ed classes, you take your math, you take your writing, and you take some other questions. credits, but you can go in there and say that I want my associate's degree in computer aided drafting. That's what I did, and take those other courses and kind of build on it. It's more respected to say that you have an associate's degree versus a certification in a certain area. Um, and again, you can usually build on it. If you want to go, you have your associate's degree, and then you can go for your bachelor's degree, and it's lower cost. It's lower cost because then you'll be available for all those grants and FAFSA. Not to say that FAFSA wouldn't cover your certifications. It may, it may, but most likely it won't cover everything. Now let me just tell you a little bit about when I went to for my associate's degree. I went to a local community college, Macomb Community College. They were offering this computer aided drafting, and I knew that they were really close to the mechanical engineering degree that I wanted. I started off at I started off at a regular 4-year college, but life happened real quick and I had to pivot. So that's some things that happens. I went off, my mom took me to 4-year college, Tuskegee University. I went down there, less than a year later, back. And I had to think of a plan. But I always had a mindset, this is what I wanted to do. This is what I wanted to do because my goal was to get to success the fastest. And I looked at that money. We're going to get to that in a minute. Any questions before I move on? Okay, so when we look at trade schools, I just gave you a couple of local trade schools that are in the area. I talked to some people, and then I've kind of listed some local community colleges also. We have National Institute of Technology. Now, I personally know a lot of people that have went through this program. Again, this is heating and cooling program, HVAC, and it makes you very wide range in a lot of areas. They are teamed up with several companies, contracting companies in the area, and they have placements. Usually, if you do good in the program, then it's placement. And the money that you spent up front, you take it and you pay your tuition with it. One company that came along, Simca Construction Agency, Michigan Business and Technology, that does exactly what it says, business and technology when you look at the business field. Here's another HVAC heating and cooling school, Michigan Dialysis. So I thought that was interesting because instead of people going straight to nursing school, or a lot of people, medical billing was top rate back in the day, but dialysis, a lot of people are on dialysis, and just think, in less than 2 years you can be certified to be a dialysis a facilitator, and making that money. And if you like it, that's something that you can possibly go back to school and you can become a nurse or RN. But when you look at junior colleges in the area, and everybody is offering online at this time, it's like Dorsey Business School, Baker College, I think I want to, Baker College, Schoolcraft College, Macomb Community, that's where I went, Wayne Community College. These all offer programs, certification programs, and definitely look at the cost of them. One thing I want to say, let me just go back a little bit as far as the I went for the associate's program, right? And then I came across an opportunity where I did not finish my associates before I started working in the field. So again, this field of computer aided drafting was so hot at the time that they were looking for someone who just had experience in certain classes. And I had taken like 1 or 2 classes already. I hadn't even gone through the program, and I was able to apply for a job immediately and say that I had experience and qualify for that. And then in return, have my company pay for the rest of my degree. So that's a tip that I definitely wanted to share with you guys. So let's talk money motivation. Who's motivated by money? Me, me. I don't know. A lot of kids um, are driven by. I got a little typo in here. I got a zero, but it's definitely not zero. A lot of kids are driven by passion. I know my son, he's in his third year of college, and when talking about what he wanted to do, I was always telling him to go to glassdoor.com, go to salary.com, look and see, what do you want to do? Look at the money. And he was just like, oh, I'll be bored. So I had to take a step back and like, okay, it's different now. But check out these professions and these salaries. Phlebotomy, $50,000. Phlebotomy, you only are drawing blood. So if you can stomach taking people's blood, you definitely have to go through training courses, but it's only blood. The people that just draw your blood, put it in the tubes, that's a phlebotomist. And they get $50,000. And I put top salary like after 5 years. I don't know. I can't say if you go in making that 50,000, but I think 5 years or less, you should be at that 50,000. Okay. I thought that was interesting. Pharmacy technician, $36,000. A professional coder. Um, I am not sure if anybody can chime in. What is a professional coder? But this professional coder has a position at $51,000. And I'm thinking it's a coder like a medical billing coder. I don't know. But the medical technician,
That's what I was thinking.
45,000.
Terese. I was thinking it was more along the lines of medical billing and coding.
Okay. Okay. Because it's some, it's a skill to learn the codes and everything. A medical technician, $45,000. A sonographer, that's one that gets you ready and prepped, for your MRIs and, different scans, ultrasounds. And again, this is not medical school. And I don't think this is even a 4-year degree, but it is, definitely sonographer. So that's definitely something to look into. If you are into, want to do something in the medical field, but you don't want to take all that time, or you are already in your career, and that's something that you're like, I think that'd be a good career switch, look into taking a class, look into taking that certification at that local community college. That's something you can definitely do. But when we look at electricians, how much do you think electricians make? Top salary, I would say, after a certification. Put it in the comment section, like I can see the comment section. Can you say 85? Anybody else? 75 to 80. Well, just with a certification, it's listed at 55,000. But I think, like you said, those top numbers all the way up to 80, if you are established and you start your own company, if you market yourself, absolutely, you can be up there in that 80 and 70% range, 75,000 range. If you market yourself and if you already have a plan or how you're gonna get on, but I'm just saying, out of the gate, someone fresh out learning to be an electrician, 55,000, that's good money. And a plumber, 75,000. HVAC tech, near 50 or more. As you become experienced, I know a lot of people getting their CDL license. Truck driver. What about truck driver, guys? What do you think? 70. So I found this interesting. Jordan says 30, 35. I found this interesting. Truck drivers, the listed amount is 43,000. So if you kind of look at, what's it take to get your CDL license? We know a lot of people going for their truck drivers, their CDL license being a truck driver, so 43. But if we knew that becoming a plumber would come out the gate with 75 and and looking at this coding position at 51, right, then we would know that um, maybe we can become, some of those professions other than truck drivers. Now, like I think Takesha said, she has a friend who makes over $100,000. Absolutely. He's been doing it a while and you get with a company, but I believe a lot of these positions, you can come out the gate, making good money. It's like a skill. And the market that used to be back in 1990 is not the same one as 2021. I will definitely say that. We don't have the same market. It's a little different. But check this out, this loan officer, $63,000. I think that's right. She says 43,000 is for someone who may just come on with another company. Again, you're just getting your CDL license and you're going in with another company and somebody hires you, okay, for starting off, 43,000. And that's still pretty good. But then as you maybe get your own fleet or if you start your own business, and like you say, you get some experience under your belt, the sky's the limit. The sky is the limit. Um, but look at this loan officer. I'm gonna get this $63,000. And then this one right here had me thinking, guys. This construction 93,000. Now I don't know exactly what position that 93K, but just imagine if they're listing this as like certified, a certi if they're listing this as like to be certification construction worker at 93,000 for someone who may be bored in the position that they're in and maybe looking to switch careers. Um, if money is your motivator, if money is your motivator, that construction at 93,000 may not be a bad option at all. So I just thought that this was very interesting. If money is your motivator, and you need some kind of incentive to make your decision on what area you want to go into, I definitely advise you to look on glassdoor.com, salary.com, and then the Google searches. You can be as specific as you want to. What career makes the most money doing this? Something of that. So let's get into job searching. Duane Fisher talked on job searching yesterday. He did a wonderful job and he talked about how to do your resume. And all I have to say is get a rock star resume. A rock star resume. Spend time with it. Just don't throw anything together, and find something that makes it stand out. If you don't have a lot of experience, if you're getting started in high school, whatever, then find some nice um, background. Before it used to be, I used to put it on, nice paper. Nobody's doing hard copies nowadays, but make it stand out with your formatting of some sort. And He also gave a great tool. I think Takara has that tool to use to find out you might have more experience than you know in a lot of other areas. If you ever babysitted before, if you ever, did any customer service before, then you might have more experience than you know. Okay, so Takara, does someone have a question? I see the chat lighting up.
That's me typing. I'm just putting the link that Dewan shared yesterday. So I'm just typing in that link. So if anybody wants to go back and reference it, they can review that link there. There are no questions.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
So I counted on my fingers, and I've only had 6 jobs. I've had 6
Lucky
jobs.
you.
Did you have 6 jobs?
No, I didn't have more than 6. You're real lucky.
When I was 14, I started out at a summer day camp watching children. I only did that for a summer. In the 10th, 11th grade, I started out as McDonald's customer service. Whoop, whoop. And I think I created a job as the hostess, McDonald's hostess. They can only book parties through me. Who had a McDonald's party in their life? I was your hostess. You had a great time. When I tell you I used to get tips, I did their whole party for them. So like the hostess at one of the jamboree parties, I was there. I took the kids, I played games, I fed them, I engaged with them. That was in the 10th grade. I created a job for myself at McDonald's. I was like, oh, I can't work the register today, guys. I got a party. Then after high school, like I said, I had a plan. I moved on to college. I went to Tuskegee University, came back real quick. Woo-hoo. Life got me. And after a while, when I came back, I worked as a medical technician, helping doctors get results at a laboratory. I couldn't think of it. DRCL, the Dearborn Regional Clinical Laboratory, getting lab results. Again, more customer service. But I was also in the medical field, and I learned a lot of medical terminology doing that. Another opportunity presented itself. Now, this is like kind of back to back, maybe a year later. I was a paralegal for a law firm. And I thought that was the job for me. I was like, oh, I'm going to stay here. I'm a paralegal. I'm a professional. I'm in an office setting. Dun, dun, dun. Life happens again. Life happens, and I have to take a break. And during this break, opportunity came, and someone said, do you want to work for the post office? And I was like, the post office? I want to be a professional. But when you look at government jobs at the tender age of 22, and you're making the same amount of money as someone who has been at the post office, I worked for the post office, and I was like, okay. So that was my job, and I stayed at the post office. But at the post office, this is where I realized that I wasn't fulfilling my potential. And I went for my career. So this is where I want to say, no, have a plan and stick with that plan. I had those jobs. What I was doing was creating wealth and trying to build, income, but that wasn't my plan. Okay. So going back to the job search, get a rock star resume, one that stands out. I had all this experience going in to all these jobs, so I could put down this experience, but how I was going to put it down and where I was going to put it, that's the key. Here are some search engines that I pulled up: Indeed.com, Snag a Job, Career Builders. Michigan Works has some great opportunities listed. Michigan Works, and then word of mouth. This is the best. All those jobs, all those careers I have, except for the last 2, were word of mouth. Who I knew. It was always, hey, how about this? Hey, I'll submit this. Don't forget your network. Word of mouth still works. Who do you know that is doing that that you want to accomplish? Here's some of my job searching tips. If you want the job, be purposeful and get it. Get it. Prepare. When you're searching for a job, be specific in your Google search. Be specific with the types of things you want to do. Take notes. Treat your job searching like a job. Pull out your notebook, take notes, set reminders, and follow up. This is the key, and always improve your resume. Dwan didn't touch on this, but or maybe he did when someone asks, do you have separate resumes for separate jobs? I definitely agree on improving your resume. He killed the myth about keywords. He said that was a definite myth, but I believe when searching, try to match some of those keywords that they list with your resume. You may have done those things, but don't have it listed exactly the same. So just tweak it. If that's the industry word that they're using, go with that. That's the industry word they're using, then kind of go with that. And again, we're trying to make our resume stand out. The goal is to get an interview, whether it's a phone interview, whether it's a face-to-face interviews. Interviews are hard to come by. I don't know if anybody agrees with that, but it's hard out here. So you definitely want to remember that it's a numbers game. So get your numbers up, apply, get your numbers up. If a job is what you're trying to get that job. And I know some people on the phone do not have a hard time getting jobs because they're intentional on what they're doing. I believe in cover letters still. Yes, depending on, the job. And I believe in thank you letters. Yes, after the interview, whether it's not a letter, but a email. And right after it, I've sent thank you letters as soon as I walked out of the interview. They work. You want them to remember you. And let me just touch on a little bit. If you get an interview and if you're in face to face with someone, I do believe in still making yourself presentable. Maybe not a dress and the whole stockings and gambit and everything, but you want a nice pantsuit. I don't care if I'm getting a job at like a nursing home or whatever. If it's out of I'm going to dress the part because maybe I'll walk in there and they say, we don't have this job, Miss Thomas, but we have this job. The next thing I wanted to let you know is don't let the money that does not move keep you from moving. So I wanted to, I had a story behind that. Don't let the money that keeps you from moving, like getting a job and the jobs that you have. So a lot of people get so comfortable in that job. Say, for instance, my job at the post office. At the post office, I stayed at the post office for 4.5 years, and I was making, just to be transparent, I was making about $38,000 at 22 years old. This was in 1996. No, 19, yeah, 1996 to 1999, about 36 to $38,000. That's what I was making. And I was like, okay, I was driving a new car. I was living in my own home. And I looked at the people, my coworkers around me, 10, 15 years older than me. And guess what? They were making the same amount of money as me. And they were saying, oh, how lucky I was. Oh, I'm a little spoiled, just because I was making this amount of money at this age. And they were very surprised when I quit my job. When I told them I was leaving, I said, no, this is not what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm leaving. And I could have easily let that amount of money hinder me from moving to my career. Um, I Again, I went to school. Um, for this program. I didn't immediately start making the money I was making at the post office, but I knew, I did my research and I knew that this career opportunity path was the one that was going to create success for me in the long run. And I knew if I looked at my coworkers, they've been there for like 5, 10 years longer than me, and they were still making this amount of money. Like, where was the growth opportunity? Where is the growth opportunity? I have here the story of Quicken Loans. I know that I had a cousin of mine who started off at Quicken and doing, I think, data research or data management, just a low end job. And he found that there was opportunity as far as taking the loan officer's test. And when we go back to these slides, as a loan officer, $63,000. I don't know. Maybe he went in there making like $30,000, but he took that test and Quicken Loans paid for him to take that test. Now, he didn't pass immediately. It was some studying he had to do, but that was something for him to work towards. And I just think that having something to work towards will definitely get you on the path that you want to be. Find that goal and keep focused. Take risk. Take risk. It's okay. And try new things. A lot of people, I heard in my office, that's not my job description. I don't do that. At least you can count it as experience. I did it. I don't like it. But how about if you put it on that resume, or if you see that job description, you can say, oh, I did that. I know what it entails. I'm not an expert at it, but I did that. And my last thing is, if you can dream it, you can do it. So I just want you all to shoot for the stars. Again, whether you're just starting your journey or you're changing paths, just shoot for the stars and you can do it. That's all I have, Takara. Any questions? Anyone you want to share anything at this time regarding trade school and their experience with certifications?
I don't see any questions in the chat, Terese, but you did do an excellent job. And I can definitely attest to when you mentioned making sure that you're dressed professionally going into the interview, regardless of the position. Because even in my current role, I went and I applied for a position that they consider me overqualified for. But at that time, I just wanted a job. And so they weren't going to offer me that position. But shortly after that, I would say probably about a day or two after that, I got a phone call and was offered a position almost making double of what I went in to get paid. So it definitely pays to dress the part and have your resume speak for you prior to going into an interview. So that was definitely great. For anybody that might have missed the entire portion of the presentation, it was recorded and will be posted on smashfoundation.org later on this week, as well as the PowerPoint that Terese utilized today. So that will be available for you to view and scan. Her contact information is listed, as well as the website for DXT Management. I'm sure she'll make herself available to assist you, or if you have a friend in need of her services, we definitely like to use the word referrals because we want to refer as many people to get the knowledge and skills that they need to be productive in today's society. High school students, college students, and even some adults who may be looking for a job transition. Yes. We do have 2 more career expos coming up this month. One will be tailored towards interviewing techniques. The other one will be tailored towards social media presentation. So I want to thank everyone for attending today. Again, Terese, thank you so much for taking time out of your Sunday.
Thank you, S.M.A.S.H Foundation ladies. You're wonderful. Keep doing a great job.
Thank you. And we look forward to seeing you soon. If you're not on our page or have subscribed to the smashfoundation.org, please do so that you can stay in the loop with the good things that we have going on in the Tri-County area. Thank you so much. Have a great Sunday.
Thank you.